Time now for Media Watch, the feature that tries to get you talking about what's happening in and around the net. Olivia's here with a couple of stories that may whet your appetite. Barack Obama putting his bank statement out there.
Very brave move.
Why has he done that?
Putting his personal finances in the public domain. Well, he has to, as US president. It's a tradition. And what was revealed, we've got USA Today, who's got the story, he's worth as much as $10 million.
Wow.
Which is actually a lot less than many people expected. A lot of that money comes from the royalties of his books, actually, which have done really, really well in the last 5 years. And an interesting detail that was revealed along with these accounts was that he actually holds an account with JP Morgan, quite a controversial bank right now. They made a huge loss recently, having a bad call. He's got about $500 or $1 million in that account. But like many of us, he's also got a mortgage between $500 and $1 million on his house in Chicago. And all of this, of course, is in stark contrast to his opponent, Mitt Romney, who is famously a very, very wealthy businessman. Now, we're looking at Obama's accounts, but the real accounts that matter are the Democrat Party's finances in the months to come, because, of course, the campaign season is starting in earnest, and they're going to need a lot of money for their funding. Now, they've gone cap in hand to Twitter, of course. Where do you go to drum up money? The Obama campaign has said this week someone will become the 2 millionth person to own a piece of this campaign, pitch in just $3.
$3.
So as you can see, they're not asking their wealthy friends.
I get emails from him asking for $5. I don't know why he sends them to me, but I think maybe I should send one to him, given he's got 10 million.
Send back saying,
why
hey,
not?
can you change a euro? It says, look, 98% of donations were less than $250, and the average was $50. So, like I say, this is the real man in the street he's appealing to.
Okay.
Now,
That's a
the
bit
campaign...
cheeky, isn't it?
Well, yes, indeed. They must be really desperate. The campaign, of course, is not limited to Twitter. In the US, TV is a really powerful tool. And not just party political broadcasts, but the super PACs, which is the Super Political Action Committees. Now, these are independent groups who create what is negative publicity to try and put voters off the other candidate. And they can do some really dirty tricks. I mean, today, for example, a pro-Republican super PAC bought $25 million worth of advertising on TV networks in a number of states, and they're planning to highlight how Obama's not keeping his campaign promises. Now, this one we can see here, Romney firm profits first. This is some negative advertising about what happened when Mitt Romney's firm, Bain Capital, administered a steel mill, saying that he left thousands without jobs, and it was a disaster, run them into bankruptcy. So we can see that the campaign's really hotting up, that now they're really pulling the punches on the economy.
Indeed. Romney profits first. That might actually appeal to some people who vote for Romney, wouldn't it? That's the kind of double-edged sword about this whole kind of tactic, I suppose. OK. The Cannes Film Festival, of course, is big news here in France. It kicks off this Wednesday, and there is a little bit of a scandal brewing.
Well, there is always a bit of scandal around Cannes. There's always something to talk about. It opened this morning with a Wes Anderson film, and our correspondent Eve Jackson will tell you more about that later. I've been following the coverage on the web, and there's one issue that seems to dominate this year's festival, and that's the gender balance in the film industry. Is the film industry too dominated by men? It's true that many directors are men. Now, this debate was kicked off by an open letter in Le Monde from the French feminist group La Barbe. It's a group of bearded ladies who play feminist stunts. Now, they sarcastically congratulate the festival's director by saying, oh, well done, 22 films in selection, all with male directors. And also they point out that the Palme d'Or, the big prize at Cannes, has only once been won by a woman, Jane Campion, in 1993. And she had to share it with a man that year. So, of course, this was picked up by the French media. Even our correspondent, John Frosch, in Cannes, asked the director, what is this all about, the director of the festival? And he said, well, we just pick the films on the quality of the actual movie, and we don't care about whether it's a man or a woman. Now,
is anybody believing that?
Well, I mean, the person to ask is a female film director.
Yeah, sure.
Andrea Arnold, a British director. She's on the jury this year. She'd actually had a filming competition, Fish Tank.
The film's called Fish Tank?
Her film was called Fish Tank. Okay. In 2009, it won a prize. And she said that she wouldn't want there to be quotas because that would be like begging the jury just to recognise her because she's a woman.
It's almost like tokenism, isn't it? Which is probably not a good thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what she's saying. It would be a token vote for a woman because of her gender.
Sure.
So.
Okay, so Cannes once again caught in controversy.
A little bit, but the real event of today was a special guest at Cannes, of course, and that was
that?
General Aladdin Wadia, also goes by the name of Borat or Bruno or even Sacha Baron Cohen. Of course, this is The Dictator, the film that he's there to promote, but he promotes everything in character, of course. So if you want to interview him on the Croisette, you'll be interviewing an amalgamation of some of the flamboyant, tyrannical leaders of the 20th century.
Okay. Olivia, thank you very much indeed. With the bearded man on the camel, it's probably time to call it a day. Media Watch with Olivia, thank you very much indeed. Stay with us, we've got more news, sport, and a whole lot more to come here on France 24. In sport, of course, the special prize, the Marc-Vivien Foé Award, going to Younes Belhanda of Montpellier. All explained after the break.